In light of recent events, what is the best course of action when confronted by an obvious abuse of authority resulting in personal injury due to an innocent person?
To an innocent person.
Oh, to an innocent person that occurs in one's presence. At what point is it acceptable to physically engage with the assailant, even though the assailant has some kind of authority? Sorry, that's 2 questions. Wait, what's the recent event?
Recent event is the person on the airplane getting dragged off and injured because it was overbooked
United?
And all that. Yeah. Overbooked flight.
Yeah.
So, and obviously, I guess you could put more recent events is, if you could have a police officer that's doing something, you could have a bouncer. I'm sure you have plenty of stories about your nightclub days besides just wearing jeans in the wrong area, which, is a big violation. But so here's my answer to this. What do you do when one of those things has happened? First of all, the people that are in the situation are wrapped up in the situation. They're emotionally, mentally wrapped up in the situation. The situation is escalated. They're caught in a storm. Mm. And you're not in the storm. You're outside the storm. So what do most people do when they see that storm going on? What do most people do? Tell me.
Panic?
No, they pull out their iPhones and they start recording the situation. That's what they do. Mm-hmm. That's what everyone does. Mm-hmm. Hey, there's a fight going on. World Star, let's video it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm impressed that you know about World Star.
Yeah, well, they have a lot of good fights on there that you have to watch. So... yeah, well, because you see the way people act, you see some human nature in videos. So that's what people do. So what you actually want to do, instead of pulling out your video, is you want to try and get them out of that moment emotionally. You want to talk to them like a normal person, engage with them, hey, sir, you need to calm down. That's just a police officer. He doesn't mean any harm. Hey, officer. That guy's not a threat to you right now. Just take a step back. It looks like he's trying to relax. You want to talk to them, disengage them, get their heads out of those bad scenarios. Yeah. And, be in a calm voice, say some things. Like I said, say something. Hey, officer, there's a lot of people that are videoing this right now. A lot of people saw what happened. So you don't have to do anything else. Let's get this person under control. I can give you a hand, whatever, you just want to, and of course, what is their initial reaction going to be back at you? But just back away, or shut up. You don't know, and so you need to absorb that, right? Say, hey, look, I'm not giving you any threats at all. I'm just here to help out. I don't want to see any trouble. Don't want you to get in trouble. You just want to talk to people and get them out of that emotional storm that they're in. Yeah. Both sides, because it's a really nasty situation. Mm-hmm. When you don't listen to me, when I start to hurt you, when I grab your wrist, let's say like one of those police pain compliance type moves, I grab your wrist and I start to twist it. You as a human being, the natural instinct. Some people might have the instinct to comply, but a lot of people have the instinct, if you grab me and start hurting me, I'm going to pull away.
Yeah, especially
okay, you're resisting.
Yeah.
Now you're resisting. So what I need to do, I need to go harder. Yeah. Well, the harder I go, the more you resist. Right. And you see where this is going. Yeah. Next thing you know, I'm beating you in the head because I don't know how to use a chokehold, unfortunately, because in some areas, chokeholds are illegal. Mm. So, again, as the outsider, you want to pull them out of that. You want to talk to them. You want to get them to see that outside of the emotional storm that they're in. Both sides are in an emotional storm. Physical intervention, now we are talking like this is a serious step. You start stepping into these scenarios. You want to be very, very careful about stepping into one of these situations. And even that physical escalation should be, or physical intervention should be just with the sole purpose of de-escalating, right? Mm-hmm. You're not walking over and, grabbing a guy. No, hey, it's like a hand on the shoulder. Hey, sir, hey, officer, hey, TSA agent or whoever you are. Hey, let's just calm down. You want me to give you a hand getting this person under control? You don't want to get these people to where now you become, because as soon as you do that, you just enter the storm. Yeah. You're part of the storm now. Yeah. Even though you're trying not to be, you're entering the storm. Mm-hmm. So you got to be very, very cautious about what you're doing there. And what would I do in a situation where I saw someone getting, beat to death? I'm going to do what I just said. Now, might I go a little bit further because I have a lot of experience and maybe I can handle a situation and de-escalate it physically? Yeah. And, you see this sometimes where something will be escalating and innocent civilians will come and help an officer secure a person. So there's ways to do it.
Yeah.
You just got to be very, very cautious when you do that, because the other piece of this is, and again, you see this on YouTube, you don't know what happened to get to this point. You don't know who that person is, who the perpetrator is, right? The perpetrator might look totally innocent, but you don't know any background. So when you start stepping in there, you might be stepping in there to defend a person that just shot a person, or a person that just, got caught doing something, or a person that really did resist the cops hard and do some damage. So I don't know.
Right.
And I'm generally going to side with a police officer, right? I mean, the police officer, I'm respecting that they're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And so to step in there and start making something happen is not going to generally work out in a good way.
Yeah.
Maybe you can help them get the perpetrator under control, but to make the assumption that because a cop has escalated to a point of violence that the cop is an out of control crazy cop, it's not an accurate assumption.
Yeah.
Most likely, that's the wrong assumption.
Yeah.
Cops are not walking around waiting to beat the crap out of people. That's not what they're doing. They don't want to do that.
Yeah.
When it happens, it's something has generally led up to it. When we see it in a case that isn't like that, that's why we see it, because it's now news.
Yep.
It's now news.
Yeah.
So be very, very careful about that. Again, most of the time, just try and de-escalate it verbally. Ask if they need any assistance. Ask if you can call 911 for them and get more assistance for them. Ask if they need any help. Talk to them. Do that. Take that approach. If you have to physically intervene, especially if you have some experience, let them know what you're doing. Do you need any help? Do you need any assistance? That type of thing. And I'm sure we'll get some feedback from some cops on this one.
Yeah. And
it'll be good.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like when I was back to the bouncer situation, when guys would, a fight would break out. So in a club, when a fight breaks out, is more chaotic than, in the street when you see two guys fighting. So it's a little bit more dangerous when you jump into the fight to try to break it up, because if you just jump in and grab the guy doesn't know if you're trying to break up the fight or if you're a guy's
you're
friend,
just another attacker.
Yeah, exactly right. So he's going to start swinging or whatever. And that's not to mention any of that guy's friends who sees you do that in the dark, all this, the dark nightclub lights, whatever. So he might hit you, whatever. And then, bottles can be, it can be dangerous. So if you jump in there before you even touch the person, you're already saying, what I would always say is either break it up or calm down. Like, calm down, guys, break it up before you even touch them. And they hear that. So when they feel you, they don't feel a punch.
Got it.
It's like, calm down. And they feel you it's more of a light given compared to the guy who he's fighting with. It's not a punch. It's not a wrestling move. It's nothing like that. It's like you're breaking it up.
And you just gave me a good reminder too. If you're on the outside and you see something like this going on, like if you're on that plane and you see this passenger getting roughed up, hey passenger, just calm down. Do what they're telling you to do. Right. Just comply with what they're doing to do. Just relax. Let them cuff you. Just relax. You can take. Definitely heard cops say this. Actually, I heard the guy that was on Sam Harris's podcast. Like, if you got an issue with what a cop's doing to you, bring it to the court. Right. Let your lawyers handle it. Yeah. Don't handle it right there, because you're going to lose. Yeah. You're going to lose that situation. You're going to end up hurt. You're going to end up injured. It's going to be a bad scenario. Yeah. So same thing. Tell if you see someone getting roughed up, then hey man, we're all watching. Just comply. Just do what they're telling you to do, and take it up with a lawyer later. Just try and get that person to calm down, because that's chances are, the police officer, he's arrested thousands of people, put his hands on thousands of people. Mm-hmm. That person that's getting roughed up, they've not been arrested. I can guarantee you that United passenger probably never been arrested in his life. Mm-hmm. So here he is. And like I said, you start to pull me, I'm going to resist. People don't pull me. Nope, don't pull me. But now all of a sudden we got an incident going on. Yeah. So instead of someone saying, hey, just listen to what they're telling you. You need to just calm down. You don't want this to get any worse, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Talk to people and get them to detach a little bit.
Yeah, and obviously the United situation isn't this real linear situation where it's like, hey, that's the passenger's fault. He should have just went with him kind of thing. For sure. You know, I mean, there's dynamics.
Yeah, and honestly, all I know about, I don't know anything about it other than I saw the guy getting dragged out of the plane. That's the only part I saw. A guy getting dragged out of the plane, and I saw the good Gracie, breakdown of that, of how to defend yourself in that situation.
Yeah, no, he was. It's just a long story. That does apply. You know, if you're getting arrested or taken off the plane or whatever, and you choose to fight for your rights right then and there, hey man, that's a battle that you got to do that, you know, and there's consequences to that.
When you mean you got to do that?
It's like, you ever heard the expression, if you want to be a gangster, you got to do gangster stuff?
Okay.
It's actually gangster shit, but
you're not advising.
I'm saying if you want that beef, then you're going to get that beef.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So yeah, do it. But like I said, especially with like the cops, if they're arresting you and you're like, hey, you violated my rights, so I'm going to fight you right now for my rights. Yeah. If you want that beef, okay. But you're going to be safer, first off, and more effective if you fight for your rights administratively later. Yes. You know? And so nonetheless, kind of on a tangent there, but when you're helping the cops or whatever, it's the same way as if you're a bouncer. You kind of identify yourself, kind of thing, just like how you're saying. And it is easy, I think, and they call it availability bias, right? It's easy to be like, oh, these cops are beating this guy up. And I see this on YouTube all the time where the cops just beat up these guys, you know? So these are bad cops or whatever. But it's like anything where how you say, hey, it made the news because it's this bad cop situation. It's in your mind, you know, all the good cops and the legit arrests, all that.
They're not on YouTube.
The millions they're not on YouTube. Yeah.
Exactly.
And even if they were, that doesn't stick in your mind.
Yeah, they wouldn't have any views.
Business as usual.
Like,
you know, okay,
here's
whatever.
An exciting video of a police officer doing his job.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No one wants to watch that. They want to see somebody screwing up,
and they forget about it. It's totally not in their mind. So yeah, anything being screwed up or anything that just has this emotional impact on their mind, they're going to think is like way more common than it really is. So I think it's important to kind of keep that in mind always.
You know, absolutely.
Next question.